Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Listen, if you've been following the Blue Jays this offseason, you know something massive just dropped, and we need to talk about it right now. This isn't speculation anymore. This is happening, and it's going to change everything about how we view this team heading into next season. The Toronto Blue Jays are going all in. I'm not talking about making a few moves here and there. I'm talking about a complete commitment to winning right now. The front office has made it crystal clear through their actions that they're not rebuilding, they're not retooling, they're loading up to dominate the American League, and the numbers back this up in a way we haven't seen from this organization in years. Let's start with the biggest move of the offseason. Dylan Cease is officially a Blue Jay. 7 years, $210 million. That's not a depth signing. That's not a gamble on potential. That's bringing in a legitimate ace who was in the conversation for the Cy Young Award last season with the Padres. When you commit that kind of money to a starting pitcher, you're sending a message to the entire league that you're serious about competing at the highest level. Cease brings elite stuff. He brings experience. And he brings exactly the kind of frontline talent that Toronto needs to anchor their rotation for years to come. But it doesn't stop there. The Blue Jays also brought in Tyler Rogers, the Submarine pitcher, who's been a weapon out of the bullpen for years. His unique delivery gives hitters fits, and adding that kind of specialist to your relief corps makes you dangerous in late-game situations. Then there's Cody Poteet, who dominated in the Korean League and is bringing that success stateside. These aren't just roster fillers. These are calculated additions designed to strengthen every aspect of the pitching staff. And here's something that might have flown under the radar for some people, but is absolutely huge. Shane Bieber, the two-time All-Star, decided to opt into his $16 million player option instead of testing free agency. Think about what that means. Bieber could have gone to the open market and potentially gotten a bigger deal elsewhere, but he chose to stay in Toronto. That tells you something about the culture being built here, about the direction of the franchise, and about the belief that this team can compete for championships. When you add all this up, the Blue Jays are now sitting with 12 players making at least $10 million per year for 2 or more seasons. According to Fangraphs, Toronto is entering the season with the third highest payroll in all of baseball at $272 million. Only the Mets and Dodgers are spending more. Let that sink in for a second. The Blue Jays are in the same financial stratosphere as the biggest spenders in the game. And we're not even through the offseason yet. We're talking about this on Christmas Day, and there's still almost 2 full months of potential moves before spring training even starts. But here's where things get interesting and maybe a little concerning, depending on how you look at it. Chris Bassitt, the veteran right-hander who's been absolutely reliable for Toronto over the past 3 seasons, is currently without a deal. His contract expired after the World Series, and while nobody's ruling out a return, the front office hasn't made any moves to bring him back yet. Let me give you the Bassitt numbers because they matter. Last season, he posted a 3.96 ERA with an 11-9 record across 170 and 1/3 innings. He made 31 starts, threw a complete game, which is basically a unicorn stat these days, and was one of only 2 Blue Jays pitchers to accomplish that feat. Over the previous 2 seasons, he started all 64 games he appeared in and consistently gave the team more than 5 2/3 innings per start. That's the definition of a workhorse, someone you can pencil into the rotation and know exactly what you're getting. The question now is whether Toronto sees him as part of their future or if they're comfortable moving forward with the pitchers they've already added and the guys they have coming up through the system. President and CEO Mark Shapiro hasn't tipped his hand either way, which leaves Bassitt in limbo while other teams circle. If Bassitt doesn't return to Toronto, veteran MLB analyst Christopher Kleen has floated an interesting landing spot. He thinks the San Francisco Giants make perfect sense. The Giants went into the offseason with big plans, looking at names like Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, and Tatsu Yaramai, but those moves didn't materialize, partly due to the restrictions Buster Posey has put in place as the team's new decision-maker. Still, San Francisco needs rotation depth behind Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, and that's where Bassitt could slide in perfectly. Kleen makes a solid point about Bassitt's profile. He's not a power pitcher relying on velocity. He's a craftsman who works with off-speed stuff and breaking balls. That kind of approach tends to age better, and it's exactly what the Giants need. Someone who can eat innings, provide stability, and give you a chance to win every time he takes the mound. It's the same formula that worked in Toronto, just on the other coast. What we're witnessing right now is a franchise making a statement. The Blue Jays aren't content to just be competitive. They want to be dominant. Bringing in Dylan Cease, retaining Shane Bieber, adding bullpen pieces, and operating with one of the highest payrolls in baseball shows that ownership is willing to spend to win. But it also highlights the reality of professional sports. Players like Bassitt, who gave everything to the organization and was a model of consistency, can find themselves on the outside looking in when teams shift their priorities. The volatility of the market means anything can happen between now and opening day. More trades could materialize, free agents could sign, and the roster we're looking at today might look completely different in 6 weeks. That's what makes this time of year so fascinating. Every move has a ripple effect. Every decision impacts the team's championship odds, and every signing brings new hope or raises new questions. For Blue Jays fans, this offseason should feel exciting. The team is investing, they're adding talent, and they're positioning themselves to compete not just next year, but for the long haul. Whether Bassitt returns or finds a new home in San Francisco or somewhere else entirely, Toronto has shown they're committed to building something special. The American League should be on notice because this Blue Jays team is loaded, motivated, and ready to prove they belong among the elite. The next 2 months are going to be crucial. Keep your eyes on the transaction wire, pay attention to the rumors, and don't be surprised if more big names end up in Toronto before it's all said and done. This is just the beginning, and if the front office keeps operating at this level, the Blue Jays could be looking at a legitimate championship window that stays open for years. What happens next is anyone's guess, but one thing is certain, this team is all in, and they're not backing down from anyone.